The Google Pixel 9 Pro XL is powered by the new Tensor G4 CPU with a max core clock speed of 3.1 GHz, and it's still built on Samsung's older 4nm process node. While the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra is rocking an overclocked Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chipset, which maxes out at 3.39 GHz, and it runs on TSMC's newer 4nm node. Both of them use LPDDR5X RAM, but the Pixel has 16 gigs of it as opposed to Samsung's 12 gigs. The Pixel unfortunately sticks to UFS 3.1 storage, while the Samsung boasts faster UFS 4.0 storage. They have both been updated to their latest available software, and yes, the Samsung is running the September update, which is built on the One UI 6.1.1 codebase. Which device will come out on top in this extremely detailed speed test? This is TechNick, and without further ado, let's find out. We're going to kickstart things off with a simple boot to see which one can power on quicker than the other one, and it is indeed the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL with just under 12 seconds, whereas the S24 Ultra hit just over 17 seconds. Now going to their home screens for the first time, once again the Pixel takes that point, getting 2 points in the boot and biometric section. The 2024 Pixel series has now finally received an update in the fingerprint department. Now it is ultrasonic, just like the Samsung's, and it picks up its third point after winning best 2 out of 3. Now I seriously struggled with face unlock on the Pixel. It really has to have your face up there and in it, and you got to bear in mind that we do the speed of fingerprints and face completely based on when it unlocks and not when the animation finishes. Now we have set both of them to the same lux meter reading in terms of brightness so that we can actually test out battery. So they're both sitting at around 60% at the start. We'll run the test for about 20 minutes and we'll get a battery percentage at the end and work out milliamp hour per minute drain. Now we also did test out the temperature. Once again, we'll test this out at the end. Now we're going to be jumping into our second section, which is the speed test portion. Hopping into clock, the Samsung opened it up a little bit quicker. Starting the timer was pretty much even Stevens on both devices. Going into our second system app, that is indeed calculator. Jumping into that one, which one's going to open it up quicker? It is indeed the Samsung once again. Now doing a simple calculation to get to a total sum of 17. This time it's the Pixel picking up its first points in the speed test portion. Now we're going to go into the camera app, and the strange thing here is that while the Samsung opens it up quicker, the Pixel loaded quicker, so we didn't allocate a point over here. And flicking to the selfie camera, the Pixel switched to it quicker. And while they both took a snap, pretty similarly, the Pixel actually saved it to gallery faster, so it picked up its third points over there. Now hopping into our fourth and final system app, that being gallery or photos, whichever you prefer, the Samsung actually opens up the app quicker, but the Pixel opens up the photo that we just took quicker. Pixel currently sitting on 4 points, while the Samsung is currently sitting on 3 points in the speed test section. Of course, the Pixel won the boot and biometric section. Hopping into Photoshop Express, the Samsung opened the app up quicker, so it's 4 points apiece, but going into the actual project, the Pixel opened it up quicker, getting its 5th point. Now we're going to export both of these to their respective galleries. At the bottom, you'll see that the Pixel saved it to gallery quicker, so it picked up its 6th point in the speed test portion. Now we're going to be jumping into Premiere Rush, another app by Adobe. This is a video editing app. Now launching this up, the Pixel actually picked up its 7th point, and going into the project, its 8th point. But now, before I did this video, in preparation for this video, I did export it. I always run through the test before actually doing the test and recording it on camera. I did test out the Pixel a couple times, 5-6 times, and the only time I actually had the patience to let it finished in over 10 minutes, so I wasn't going to let it run here, where the Samsung did it in under 10 seconds with UFS 4.0 storage. The Pixel is rocking UFS 3.1 storage, same as the Pixel 8 Pro, 13% in just a minute and 40 seconds, which is crazy considering the Pixel 8 Pro last year actually did it in around 18 seconds with the same UFS 3.1 storage. Going into Spotify, the Samsung picks up its 6th point, and obviously in Premiere Rush it picked up its 5th point, and then the Pixel picks up its 9th point when going into a song in Spotify. 9 points on the Pixel, 6 points on the Samsung. The Pixel is still ahead. I definitely was not expecting this. Now jumping into Google Chrome, a Google app was opened up quicker on the Samsung. Now going and searching, me over here, TechNick, that's me. Make sure you hit a sub down below if you haven't yet. And we have 8 points on the Samsung, searching those results quicker than that of the Pixel. Now nearing the gap, jumping into Facebook over here, the Pixel picks up its 10th point, so double digits this time around, 2 points ahead of the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. And going to my profile, things were pretty neck and neck there. Now we're going to be jumping into Instagram, which is a little bit harder to load up than Facebook was. Jumping into that one, it was very similar, so they both ended off pretty much at the same time, no point was allocated. But going to my profile, the Pixel 9 Pro XL, which honestly is just such a long name, my goodness. picked up its 11th point over there. Now going into X, aka Twitter, the Samsung picks up its 9th point, just 2 points behind that of the Pixel 9 Pro XL. And hopping into my profile over here, it is indeed the Pixel picking up its 12th point. Now we are getting closer and closer to the apps that are a lot harder to open up. Now we're going to be jumping into TikTok, jumping into this one. Once again, very even, very close, but the Pixel was a hair of a second quicker than that of the Samsung, picking up its 13th point and going into my profile as well, picking up its 14th point. Now we're gonna be closing this up and opening up YouTube, that is. That's what you guys are watching this on right now. Jumping into that one, the Pixel loaded it quicker, 15 points, now a 6-point gap between these two devices. Now we're gonna be hopping onto my channel, and like I said earlier, if you guys haven't subbed, be sure to sub because I am gonna be doing a battery drain test and camera comparison pretty soon, so stay tuned for that one. Going into my profile, the Samsung actually picked up its 10th point, so its first double-digit point. Jumping into Netflix over here, our last kind of normal app, the Pixel opened up the profile section quicker, but both of them went into the actual profile at the same time. Still a 6-point difference between these two devices. They've both been released this year, but the Samsung does have much more capable hardware. Going into our first benchmark, Geekbench version 6, the Samsung opened it up quicker, so just a 5-point gap between them. Now we're going to be running the test. It's not so much about score over here, though it's hard not to look at score, but the Samsung was quicker, so it did pick up the points just under 5 minutes, where the Pixel was just under 6 minutes to get through Geekbench version 6. So a 4-point gap between the two devices. Now we're going to be hopping into 3D Mark Wildlife, and we're going to be running the extreme version of it. Now, opening that up, the Samsung picked up its 13th point. And of course, we're going to be relying on their integrated GPUs to run through this test. This is a much quicker test than Geekbench, and it does focus primarily on GPU performance. And the Samsung was a split second quicker than that of the Pixel, but it was quicker and its score was significantly higher than that of the Pixel, now getting its 14th point as opposed to 16 points on the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL. Just a 2-point difference. Is it going to stay similar now that we're going to jump into gaming, or is it going to just completely get blown out the water? The Pixel, that is. Jumping into Subway Surfers, which one is going to be quicker? It is indeed the Samsung here. 3.25 seconds as opposed to 3.38 seconds on the Pixel. Now just a 1-point difference. The Samsung has been playing catch up this entire speed test, but let's see what happens. It does get pretty interesting now. Jumping into Asphalt, well, it used to be Asphalt 9 Legends, now Asphalt Legends Unite. The Samsung was quite a bit quicker, pretty much 2 seconds, just over 2 seconds quicker in opening it up when compared to the Pixel, picking up at 16 point now. Even Stevens between the two, 17 points now going into the actual game, which is what matters, is the speed once you're actually in an app, because it's one thing to open up an app, it's another thing to do things within an app. So for the first time, the Samsung has actually surpassed the Pixel, well, the first time in a while. At the start, it was pretty similar. Jumping into our second last game, second last app of the 20-year, Call of Duty Mobile. No surprise here, the Samsung opened it up in just under 30 seconds, whereas the Pixel just over 34 seconds. Samsung picks up its 18th point. Now going into practice range over here, just simple training. The Samsung was quite a lot quicker than that of the Pixel, picking up its 19th point. So while the Pixel was pretty quick with your day-to-day tasks, and I think it's going to feel pretty similar in terms of performance between these two devices on the daily, when it actually matters, when it comes to gaming and benchmarks, when it actually really tests out its GPU and CPU, the Samsung is always going to come out on top. And it just opened up Free Fire quicker than that of the Pixel. Now it's 20 points and 21 points going into the training mode of that one as well. 21 points. Ending off the speed test section, 5 points ahead of the brand new Google Pixel 9 Pro XL. And on that note, guys, just let me know your thoughts on what do you think looks better here in terms of screen quality, bezels, the rounded corners of the Pixel, the boxiness of the Samsung. And on that note, we are running a RAM test now, going in reverse order of all the apps to see if they stay open. The Pixel does have 16 gigs of LPDDR5X RAM. The Samsung has 12 gigs of LPDDR5X RAM, and I did make sure to set all the apps on both devices to unrestricted background access, so they should not have any problems going into all of these apps again, which you can see they are not. So there's no issues at all. And jumping into the camera app, they actually both killed it, but the Samsung just saved the selfie mode. And neither of them got a point there in the RAM section, since neither of them killed or kept the apps open differently to each other. Now getting to battery and temperatures, they both actually dropped by 6% battery here. But since the Samsung has a slightly smaller battery compared to the Pixel, it had a slightly better milliamp hour per minute reading. So the Samsung had it beat in terms of efficiency, and more importantly, the Samsung had it beat in terms of temperature gain. So of course, overall, the Samsung won with a total score of 22 points as opposed to the 19 total points on the Pixel. But I must must say I'm quite surprised. I had no idea that things would be so close, so I am pretty impressed with the Pixel. Now, if you are in the market for either of these devices and you live in South Africa, be sure to check the link down below. I hope you guys all enjoyed watching this video as much as I did testing out two of the best Android devices of 2024. This is TechNick, and I'll catch you in the next one.